Welcome learners. In this session, we're going to talk about location-based apps. When you are trying to use your Google Maps or let's say your favorite food delivery apps, your driver's position is displayed on that particular map. How exactly is your user able to see that location where you are, and in fact, how are you able to see where the driver is? There has to be a particular mechanism that exists in a phone called GPS, which tells about your position. We're going to learn about how we can ask permission into our app to access the GPS hardware. In fact, I'm going to show to you to use this particular position and plot it on the Google map to display the user's live location. In fact, we'll take it one step further, wherein we're going to show your location as well as another marker which shows the live location for our Hoping Minds office at Punjab, wherein you'll be able to compare how far you are from us. Let's get started. Let's begin with the discussion for the blueprint of our GPS positioning app. I'm going to use a geolocator plugin. Well, over here we are going to get the live location in the form of latitude and longitude. Now, let's say once we have this particular latitude and longitude, within the plugin, we'll also add the GPS on off validation. Well, just imagine a scenario, you have the permission for the location, but the GPS of the user's device is off. In that case, the latitude and longitude will never get fetched. Hence, this is called as location service, which we are going to try and adjust in the geolocator plugin. Third one is Google Maps, wherein on the Google Map plugin, we're going to put your live location. That's going to be a red color marker, and that will have your current location to be marked on the GPS, that is the Google Map. And hence, in this way, you will be understanding one simple use case for the GPS. Talking about the plugins, the geolocator and the Google Maps plugin, what I have done is added them into the pubsec YAML file, that is over here. Now, again ensuring these are the latest plugins while I'm recording this video. Stepping into lib directory, I'm going to create my location directory, and over here display location screen is something which I'll be implementing. Now, as I'm not going to be having any moving components for now at my screen, I'll be having the display location screen to extend the stateless widget. Let's try doing one missing override, return scaffold, and then head over to draw.io to draw how exactly the screen will look like. Let's talk about our button. Well, exactly like we did in the case of our camera, wherein we got the permission for camera, we'll put get location permission button. The moment you tap on this, it will open the permission dialog, that is open the permission bottom sheet, and over there you'll be getting an option to either accept or either deny the location permission. Now over here we're going to try with the help of our geolocator plugin. Let's try understanding the geolocator documentation. Over here inside the base directory we had permission utils. This permission utils is a standalone point for all the permissions into our app. Let's try over here creating a function as determine position. In fact, I'm going to say taking the entire code from this particular implementation on pubdev and adding it over here. I'll take the import line and paste it at top of the class. Now over here, this is a well documented function which we get. What does it say? It says it will determine the user's position. Now it also checks whether the GPS service is on. If not, it will give an error. So yes, in this session I'm going to talk about the error handling for GPS. Next, check permission. This will ensure that only if we have the required permission, only when we have the required GPS permission, only then we are allowed to fetch the current location. If at all the permission is not available, then it's going to say location permission are denied. In fact, if the user continuously denies, then we will say location permission is permanently denied. Your user just hates your app. Now in the body section I'll be having one elevated button. When you press that button, we're going to call permission utils, and then this time this does not give me the suggestion for determine position. Let's check. Do you notice this has got an underscore? Well, this basically signifies my function was kind of private. If I remove the underscore, this is surely going to give me the suggestion, and let me call it. Next, I'll put the text message wherein I'll say get location permission. That's exactly the button that we have put on the center of the screen. Hence, I'll try to make this elevated button come to the center of the screen. Let me run my app and check whether this thing will work or not. But do you remember one crucial step for Android manifest? Wherein we had to declare all the list of permissions so that they could get listed onto the Play Store. That's exactly where we will be having our permission for access find location. Next would be access course location. As I've added both the permissions, let me tell you what's going to be the difference between them. Find location indicates that you want the exact accurate GPS value. This can be useful in the case wherein you're trying to book a taxi. Let's say you're trying to order food from a restaurant. On the other hand, let's talk about course location. Imagine you're trying to create a weather forecast app. Even if you move 100 meters or 200 meters, you will probably not have that kind of a weather difference in that case. Hence, this course location gives in and around value of the GPS. Well, on find location gives an exact value for the GPS location. Now, depending upon how we have the position, we are going to try accessing the find location. That's because we want exactly the position where you are standing to be plotted on the Google map. Now, I'm going to do one round of run and create my logger so that at the logs I can show to you what are the exact coordinates where I am recording this video. Let me mark this as async. So I'll say where current location equals await and determine position. Logger.log. Let me put current location and then print the latitude and longitude. Let me have the word latitude so that it distinctly tells me what coordinates are there for latitude, what coordinates are there for longitude. Now, I'm going to do a hot reload. Heading over to my app, I realize that I did not create the button which can navigate me to this particular screen. Let's do it very quickly. I'm heading over to my home screen wherein I'll add a new button . Let me now write the code for navigator dot push material page route, in which I'm going to mention which screen I'm going to go to, and it says display location screen. On the button, I'll put the caption as show GPS location. Now, when I do a hot reload, I get this button. When I click on it, I head over to this particular screen. Let me at least put an app bar, and this app bar shall display a text show GPS. Well, that's my app bar. Now, when I click on this button, it shows unhandled, no location permission defined. That's because I did not kill the app and open it again. Let me kill the app and open it once again. As I see my app to be live again, I'm going to go to this show GPS location button, click on get location permission, and this time it shows me yes, I want to get the access to the location, and I'll see while using the app. Next, it picks my current location and gives me on the entire, it picks my current location and in fact prints it on the console window. So hopefully I have been able to achieve the location. Next, over here, what I'm going to show to you is how I can do the error handling. So let's see. When I try to do the determine position, there can be two scenarios. Scenario number one is I'm going to get the current location, that is my position. So I'll put over here position, current location, and then take the import for my geolocator. Let me print this inside here so that it stops giving me an error. However, there is yet another function that helps us do error handling in case of Flutter. I'm going to take on error, and this time I'll say error comma stack trace. Well, what is exactly going to be the issue? Here we shall understand if at all any error scenarios happen. Error occurred, and I'll print this error. What I'll now try and do is head over to the settings and then disable my GPS. In that case, let me again kill my app and run all over again. As I see my APK to be installing on my device, let me now wait until my app home screen gets loaded. Click on show GPS location, and then when I try to get the location permission, it says error occurred, location service are disabled. That's exactly where, with the help of geolocator plugin, this location service was disabled, and hence we're getting this error. What goes behind error handling and how to do the error handling is something we need to handle in the app. In fact, this is one of the crucial steps, as because you can face errors into your mobile app at any point in time. So what we're going to talk about is the entire UI for the error handling into our next session. Hope you liked the demonstration, wherein you got to understand what are the granularities between a fine and a coarse location. In fact, I was able to demonstrate to you how, if the location services are disabled, you can retrieve the future.error. But we weren't able to implement the UI for the same, because that's going to be the entire error handling which I am covering up in the next session. So stay tuned and keep learning with Hoping Minds.